President Trump is waging a new fight
to end mail-in ballots because they're corrupt.
He says his lawyers are working on an executive order to stop mail-in voting.
You can never have a real democracy with mail-in ballots. And we, as a Republican Party, are going to do everything possible that we get rid of mail-in ballots.
The president argues mail-in ballots make election fraud easier.
But there's no evidence at all that this is actually a problem.
George Washington law professor Paul Schiff Berman says not only is mail-in voting totally legitimate, the Constitution gives Congress power to make federal election rules and states the power to run elections, not the president.
The president really doesn't have any constitutional power to make changes in the way states conduct elections.
The White House says election reform is a top priority for the president, but acknowledges he may need some legislative help to make changes.
I'm sure there will be many discussions with our friends on Capitol Hill and also our friends in state legislatures across the country to ensure that we're protecting the integrity of the vote for the American people.
Berman says the White House may face an uphill battle trying to pressure lawmakers to pass reforms, but predicts the president's rhetoric could have other consequences.
One is that it may depress the mail-in voting of his own constituents, which would actually hurt Republicans.
And he says there's a concern this undermines faith in the election system.
That is, I think, tremendously destructive of democracy long-term.
Berman says it's also unclear exactly what the president wants to do, and whether he wants to eliminate absentee voting, commonly used by service members overseas, or whether he just wants to eliminate mail-in voting for the general public. In Washington, I'm Hannah Brandt.